the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB,
Macon, and WDDO 980 AM,
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrooks and Mr. Dumas.
Good evening and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. Certainly happy you could join us this evening on a very sunny day and hope you had a great weekend. Most of us were celebrating the Pan-African Festival, 40 years of providing all types of things to our community, the arts, and we had a lot of fun this weekend. The weather was great, a lot of good performances. Jeffrey Osborne on Saturday night, and just a slew of gospel favorites on Sunday. And so we had a wonderful time, and hope you got an opportunity to go out also and to see what the Pan-African Festival is all about here in the Mid-State, and hope you enjoyed your weekend. Today, we have some interesting topics to talk about. We have a special guest that's going to be joining us today, Dr. McLean. He's going to be talking to you about one of the favorite subjects, weight loss. And so we look forward to actually talking with him and seeing what he has to tell us about weight loss. I believe he's going to join us by phone. I also sent him a Skype link, and so if you hear me, Dr. McLean, you can either use the Skype link that I sent you by email, or you can call in by phone. Before we introduce Dr. McLean, I also want to remind each and every one of you that today is the last day to register to vote in the May primary. And so if you haven't done so, today is the last day to do that. And we do hope that you have registered because this is a very important election. It's a gubernatorial election where you, the Georgians, middle of Georgia, get to choose the next governor for the state of Georgia. And so we do hope you're taking the opportunity to make sure everything is in order as it relates to voting. I do want to state that early voting will start May 2nd. You can early vote on May 2nd. You don't have to wait until the 24th or the election date to vote. You can vote early. And so do take advantage of that May 2nd date. The places, the locations you can go to early vote is the Macon Elaine Lucas Center, as well as the Board of Elections. The deadline to request absentees ballots will be May 13th. So I hope you're writing those dates down. The deadline for request of an absentee ballot will be May 13th. And so I want to make sure that you take advantage of that. Okay, at this time, I believe we have our guest on the line. Dr. McLean, can you hear me? Okay, we seem to have lost that connection. I'm sure they'll try to call back in to make contact. Also, those of you who were at the Pan-African Festival this weekend, I hope you took the opportunity to go by the NAACP booth where we were trying to register people and get them registered. Let's see if Dr. McLean is called back in. Dr. McLean, you're on the line.
I am. How you doing?
Doing fine. How are you doing?
Doing great.
All right. If our technician could turn him up a bit. I can barely hear my monitors. But if you can hear me okay, go ahead and introduce yourself and Middle Georgia know what services you're providing. I've heard about one of the particular services as it relates to one of your weight loss programs. And so just introduce yourself to our military audience.
Okay, then. I'm Dr. McLean, Ronald C. McLean. Currently, I'm in Miller, Georgia, in 1385 Pound on Avenue, and also in Warner Robinson, 235 Margis Drive, Suite 300. What we do now, we have 35 years of experience doing family medicine and weight loss management. We've been doing this for quite some time, and looking forward to trying to treat the people and all the patients in Miller, Georgia. We've been doing it for the last 1 year in Dr. Harvey Jones' office. We're taking over for him where he did weight loss also. We do weight loss, but in a different matter. Everyone have their own style and way they want to do it, and that's what we do. We like to say that we do it the way it would be best for the patient to maintain weight loss, because we think that it's not just a fly-by-night situation. It didn't occur overnight, so we definitely want to make sure you get the weight loss in and out for a long time and manage it along with other medical problems that McLean cares.
Okay, now you were speaking about weight loss, and a lot of times people go on diets, and they decide that they're going to lose weight. What are some very healthy ways that you instruct your patients, as opposed to maybe some of the cold turkey type weight loss programs where they pop a lot of pills or just sometimes put themselves in jeopardy because of health concerns like diabetes and those types of things. So how does your practice go about the weight loss process?
Well, a lot of times we all have the same basic approach. Sometimes you have to use medication and other supplements, and we do that. But the first thing we got to get the patient to realize that weight loss is not an overnight process like you alluded to.
Right, and some people want immediate results, not willing to put in the time and the effort that's necessary to make sure this occurs in a timely manner and in a health conscious manner. Is that correct?
That's correct. We don't believe in a overnight solution. It takes time. Weight loss, a medical program, is a medical discipline, just like someone that has problem with diabetes or someone that has hypertension or heart disease. You still got to have a methodical approach. It just can't happen overnight. It's not a pill. It's not one of those things I alluded to about nutty professor approach where you have a weight loss overnight and you get this miraculous result. It just does not occur like that. You have to have an approach. And what we do is try to get the patient to understand that there's an approach to it. You have to eat right, you got to exercise, you take the medication, but you definitely got to eat right, get enough rest, drink enough fluid, eat the right products, and we try to teach our patient that.
Okay, so if a person is interested in your weight loss program, is there an assessment that's done initially and before they actually start the regimen?
We do. We take a good history. We got to know your history, got to know all the medication that you're on. We recommend that we get an EKG, get lab work, and get all the necessary things that we need to have to make sure we're making the right assessment for you as a patient. And so that's what we do. We get all the lab work, we get all the biometrics, we get the waist circumference, the hip circumference, the height. We try to decide what your BMI is, and then we try to get the lab work, like I said, in the EKG, and make sure we get all your medication listed.
Okay, now you mentioned several different locations. If a person listening today wants to set up an appointment, how can they reach you?
Well, yeah, we have 478-743-1883 for Pound Owner in Macon. That's 1385 Pound Owner Avenue. And we also have 478-302-5106, 235 Margie Lane, Suite 300 in Warner Robins. That's Margie Drive, brother.
Okay. And how long have you been in the Macon location?
Well, we've been, a little over about 18 months, I would say.
Wow, so you're actually new here. And one of the things we do want to emphasize to the community is when you have businesses that promote good health and those kinds of things. We do want to make sure that your name gets out there and that our listening audience knows where to find you and those kinds of things, so that they can take advantage of some of the things you offer. Now, weight loss programs sometimes can become very expensive. Does insurance cover any of these programs?
That's a good question. Most insurance companies will not and do not cover weight management. Sometimes they will. It's just a hit and miss. Some of them will, some of them won't. And so we try to arrange a program that's financially affordable, we hope. And so that's what we try to do. We come out with different programs that allow people to come in as a buddy plan, whereby you don't have, one patient may not pay and the other one will pay, or you're sharing the cost. We realize that people want to lose weight, and they want to do all the things necessary to lose the weight, but they don't have the financial means to do it on a consistent basis. So we try to make arrangements for that.
And so by you doing that, really that shows the community that it's you're concerned on both ends, that on their financial obligation as well as their health, being in good health. So that's a good combination. And so this buddy plan you're talking about, I know a lot of times when people are trying to lose weight, they need the support of others to encourage them to go forth and continue to do the things that you guys probably prescribe for them to do. And so that buddy plan, when you look at a large percentage of your patients, do many of your patients take advantage of that?
Well, this is a program that we just got off, we just started really. It's new, but we understand that patients sometimes, as you alluded to, have a hard time affording the program. Our program is not that expensive when you compare it to other programs, but we still realize that people that want to lose weight, but they say they don't have the means. And so this is new. And what it does is, if a patient comes in, the basic price, we set the basic price. The patient comes in, they bring someone along with them. And that's good, because once you have someone in the program with you, people normally do better. Okay, so that's one thing. And so we offer the program, and so one patient may come in and they pay the price, and the other friends they bring with them don't pay anything for the initial visit.
Wow, that seems like a good program. So I just on the comical side, I just need to find somebody who wants to lose weight, and then I can get mine done freely.
That's correct. Or just sure. That's correct.
Well, that's
we have people that have done it so far, and down south, I have another office down south. It worked real well down that way.
Wow. Well, health is a very important subject matter for the community. Obesity is a growing concern across America. So we applaud you for your efforts and the taking that particular area of your medical expertise and focusing on it to make certain that people have a alternative to actually take care of that weight loss, or to get things in order.
What we believe is that we can take care of the gut. We can take care of a lot of other problems, because the gut is where a lot of hormones are, and a lot of problems. That's what we put in. When we eat, it goes straight to the gut. And so we maintain the gut in good health. We maintain your blood pressure in good health. We decrease your risk for cancer. We decrease your risk for kidney failure. It's a whole lot of problems that we can do by getting you to lose weight. And so that's why we think it's good to get a good health program in that involves weight loss.
And isn't it true that a lot of people that are faced with diabetes, if they would just lose a few pounds, that could be corrected simply by weight loss?
That is correct. The vast majority of the people in America are type 2 diabetic, and that has to do with what we eat and our lack of activity that we don't do. We don't exercise enough, we eat too much. And so a lot of people end up having insulin resistance, and they end up getting diabetes and other problems.
Okay, now your approach to the weight loss, what percentage of it has to do with curbing back on eating?
Well, well. Let's put it this way: it's not so much as curving back as it is of what you put in. You
Okay.
eat the same amount, just eat the same amount of the best food, and eat at the right time. You can still eat something that you like, but you can't eat everything that you like. So we don't say don't eat some of the things you like, but you can't eat chocolate cake every day, as opposed to maybe doing something different. But we try to understand that. We try to be realistic with the patient, and most of them they adhere to what we ask them to do.
And I've also noticed, a lot of times it's not at the end of the scale when people decide to lose weight. In other words, a person doesn't have to be 300-400 pounds to decide they want to lose weight. It can be an average frame person, but they may want to lose weight in certain areas. So, do you guys target weight?
Yes, sir. Most of the time, most people want to lose weight in the midsection because that's where the problem normally is. And so we have patients may come in to have BMIs of less than 30, but they have abdominal obesity or what we call visceral obesity. And so that causes a problem, a major problem. So we try to address that. We need to address that, and that's important.
Right. I'd see one of our listeners ask the question, do you offer a program for people on a budget?
Do I offer a program for people on a budget?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the problem. That's one of the reasons we came up with the 2-for-1 program, because we realized a lot of people have a budget. We also have a percentage of things that we take off for certain supplements that we have in the office. So we try to. Sometimes we have in-house financing with certain programs that come in. We do financing for us, but we don't try to do that a lot. But sometimes we have to.
Okay. I see President Westbrooks has joined us. President Westbrooks, we've got Dr. McLean on the line talking about his weight loss program. Any questions you want to pose or any input?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Certainly, weight loss is a major concern, across the country. When you start looking at people of color, and particularly that are plagued with diabetes and those get high blood pressure and those types of ailments. Weight loss is not just a recreational or a vanity type situation, but it's more health conscious. And so many people are now turning to healthy weight loss programs that mostly are affordable to them, because as you mentioned, your program has been geared toward affordability, because if they can't afford it, of course, they can't get in the program. And so we applaud you for putting together something that's affordable to people, that they can take advantage of the weight loss course itself.
Right, and like you said, people of color, we have a lot of problems, medical problems, and a lot of it has to do with our weight and, gaining weight or what we eat. And sometimes those are things that we can control. And we realize that when we offer certain products for patients or recommend certain food products, those are ideal recommendations. It's always not going to happen. So we have to deal with what the patient can or cannot do. Like we may recommend salmon or recommend something like that, and the patient will tell me, "Well, doc, I can't afford that." So we have to work within their means and try to make the program work.
And also, as it relates to a certain percentage of patients that you see, how many of those patients are actual referrals? Do you get a lot of referrals from other offices where they outline the fact that a particular patient needs to lose weight in a certain area or something of that nature? Do you get many referrals?
I have not. No, I have not. Of course, I have not been out advertising the program until recently, so maybe I get some going forward, but I have not. A lot of times it's by word of mouth. The patient comes in, they have a friend or have within my practice already, and we talk about it.
Okay. We had somebody. that wrote in and says, I'm looking for a primary care physician, but also need to lose a few pounds. Would you be the type of doctor they'd be looking for?
Yes, that's what we do. That's the basis of our program. We're primary care looking at weight loss. New Image, or weight loss program that we have called New Image, is part of the primary care program.
Wow. So at this time, you are accepting new patients, I understand.
Yes, sir. We're accepting new patients. We do it every day, every week. We're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're in Warner Robinson. On Tuesday and Thursday, we're in Macon.
Wonderful. So that's good to have a number of locations. Well, we certainly thank you for coming on the show today and sharing to let our community know that you're here to serve them and the area weight loss. And you've given out your information. And if you would, just before we go, just go ahead and give them your location and phone number so they can reach you, and hopefully maybe they can put that in the private chat, those who are watching by Facebook.
Okay, then. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. We appreciate that. We are McLean Carrier / New Image Weight Loss. We're located in Macon at 1385 Pound on the Avenue. The phone number is 478-783-1883. That's 478-743-1883. In the Warner Robins office, we're at 235 Margie Drive. The phone number there is 478-302-5106. Sometimes I forget my own phone number, 5106. So that's where we are on Margie Drive. But we're in Suite 300 over here. But we'll be glad to see you anytime. We're there from 9 to 5 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in Warner Robinson, on Tuesday and Thursday in Macon. We also in Macon on the 2nd and 4th Saturday for weight loss, on the 2nd and 4th Saturday from 9 to 2.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. We certainly enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you all for having me, too.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Okay,
Enjoy the rest of this sunny day. Okay, President Westbrooks, I gave him a little info on the voting, today being the last day to register, and you may want to highlight some things for them on our upcoming election here in May.
Yeah, we basically did voter registration this weekend at the Pan Africa Festival, and speaking, with Miss Bryan, who is our political action chairperson, a lot of people are not aware that we have a primary election that's going to be held in May. Absolutely. And so they're waiting on November. So that's not the case. So we have to get the word out that we have an election, which early voting will start May 2nd. And the election will be on May 24th. I think the early voting may be through May the 14th. I gotta make sure. I hope Ms. Bryan is on the line here to correct me if I'm mistakenly. But early voting will start on May the 2nd, and the last date to request the absentee ballot is May the 13th. So if you plan on requesting absentee ballots, we need to go ahead on and do that, because there's a deadline for that also. But we need to make sure that people are aware that there will be a primary election that will be held on May 24th if you do not plan to vote, do early voting. But there will be an election in May. It will be in November also, but we got to vote in May.
Yeah, May is very important. We're talking a gubernatorial election, and we know that that's probably going to should be a good turnout.
Well, I'm hoping that we turn out again like we did in 2000, a couple years ago. We need to make sure we turn out, because our life depends on the people. They're counting on people not coming back out to vote so they can say, well, yes, you see, people did not come out. So, I think a lot of people, with everything that's been going on with the continuous echo of the election was stolen. But what we have to do is make sure, all the changes that are being made with the voting process, this should make people want to get out and vote, because our voting strength and our voting, which is our voice, it's in jeopardy right now.
Absolutely.
And so we need to make sure that we get out and vote. This is something that, it's not privilege. We should have been voting when everyone else was voting, but we were not. So we don't need to take voting for granted. We need to make sure we get out and vote. And, for most part, our senior citizen, our ages, they're voting. I'm concerned about the ages of 18 through maybe 30. I would say that we need to get to the polls.
Well, I know you guys were out registering this weekend. I know there are a lot of people out celebrating Pan-African Festival.
And we did get some people we did get some people, but a lot of people were where they, kind of where they had, us sitting, all the people, they had the voter registration and all the vendors, they had them sitting actually away from the people.
Wow.
So you were not basically in the area where the people that you need to reach. We were not in that location, but we were able. I think the first day we got 8 people registered to vote. I don't know how many, or if she got any Sunday. I have not gotten that count, but I do know we got 8 people registered to vote on Sunday, and there were other organizations there. The People Agenda was there doing voter registration. I think Black Lives Matter was there also with voter registration.
So this has been a concerted effort to make sure, people are exercising their right to vote, and that you have an opportunity to elect the governor of your choice for this upcoming election. And you can't have that choice if you're not registered to vote. Also, as it relates to registering, people need to make certain they have their IDs together and have that straight, because you won't be able to do that without valid IDs. And so,
and I think that's, I'm sorry, Mr. Dumas, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But I just wanted to make that we're going to try to plan on before we're going to start setting up at different locations to make copies of people IDs before the election, for those that are going to vote absentee, that may vote absentee. For the simple fact is, I'm concerned, there was something issues with the driver's license matching DDS. And so that was on the news last week. So we've been doing that all the while because we already knew that was an issue. And so we're going to be doing that, also setting up different locations to make copies of people IDs to submit with their application and their absentee.
Right. And in order for a person to make sure that their vote is being counted, make sure you're doing the things that you need to do ahead of time so that they will be counted, because you don't want to, get to the polls and then start to have issues there. We want to address those, head on before they even start.
Right.
Well, I think this is all the time we've got for today. We thank you for tuning in and joining us. We thank you, President Westbrooks. We also want to congratulate you with your newly appointment as third vice president on the state level. Is that correct?
Yes, third vice president for the Georgia State Conference. Yes.
Absolutely. So we thank you. We applaud you and congratulate you on
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrooks and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4:00 p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.